Today is the 12th. Okay, I'm in the right spot. Almost got my shit together. Okay. Call this meeting to order for the Board of Commissioners. Is there Terry Schockler in the audience? I don't see anybody jumping up. Okay, we will have Commissioner McFall pinch hit then for our invocation.
No.
What? No?
No.
No? Can't do that? No. All right.
Just go to the pledge.
Let's just go to the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That makes it count.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right. That's more better then. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Payne,
Present.
Commissioner McFall,
Present.
Commissioner Bell,
Present.
County Attorney Jackson,
Present.
County Manager Bryant,
Present.
Planning and Zoning Director Koch.
Gee, you miss one meeting, you forget what you're supposed to do. Okay, we'll move to the approval of agenda. I believe we have a couple of items to add.
We do have items to add, Mr. Chair. We have under new business, we have 2 additional business items. We are going to name 1 and 2 and move everything else down. Item number 1 will be transparency statement by Board of County Commissioners. And item number 2 will be the approval or the consideration of resolution number 20, a resolution prohibiting the sale, use, and possession of fireworks in the unincorporated areas of Fremont County in accordance with Fremont County Ordinance Number 1, Series of 2012. So with that, I move to approve today's agenda.
Mr. Chair, there is one more adjustment to this agenda.
Well,
Under administrative and informational, Dwight Gardner from Senator Bennett's office will not be here, so we need to take that off of there.
Okay, so item A under
Right.
that. Okay. Yeah, he had a phone conference. He just gave us
There was a
email on
death
that.
in Senator Bennett's family, so it's messing things up for them. So with that addition, I'll second that motion.
Okay. Clear as mud? Awesome.
we got it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell,
Aye.
Commissioner McFall,
Aye.
Commissioner Payne,
Aye.
motion carries.
Okay, let's move on to the consent agenda. There is public hearings coming up on June 26, 2018 at 10 a.m. One is a special review use for Whitehorn Kennels. We also have a conditional use permit for gravel pit on State Highway 69, and then we have a commercial development plan for George Clark Auto. That'll also be on the agenda for June 26th. Okay?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner McFall,
Aye.
Commissioner Bell,
Aye.
Commissioner Payne,
Aye.
motion carries.
Next, we will move on to administrative and informational. Up first will be the county clerk's monthly report. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so the total motor vehicle fees, sales taxes, and recording fees collected for May of 2018 were $1,297,907.50. Fremont County's portion for disbursement was $721,435.92, which is 56% of the total fees and is $75,460.18 more than May of last year. So year-to-date, our office is up $345,555.22. So another good month.
Another good month indeed. Mr. Chair, with that, I move to accept the county clerk's monthly report for
Second.
May of 2018.
Sorry, second.
Okay, it's been moved and rapidly seconded. Any other further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell,
Aye.
Commissioner McFall,
Aye.
Commissioner Payne,
Aye.
motion carries.
Okay, we'll move on to the county manager report. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
So just a couple of quick items. Last week, Commissioner Payne, Commissioner McFall, Stacy Quiddick-Russell from Department of Human Services, and I attended the CCI conference, and it was a great conference. There was a lot of good presentations, a lot of good networking, so I'm really glad that we were able to attend. Brought back some ideas and some notes and things that I wanted to look into to see if there's any way of making a few slight changes or incorporating some new ideas at the county. We are working on an RFP for the Hayden Pass fire, and so we're hoping to have all of that stuff pulled together so that when we do get the federal funds and the state funds awarded, we'll be that much further along in the process. We can't sign any contracts or anything, but they've encouraged us because we have a very short window. Commissioner McFall, is it 240, 220 days? Something once we actually sign the agreements to have everything finalized. So this kind of stuff we're trying to work on ahead of time. So once those funds come available, we're ready to go. Just a reminder that we do have open riding on Tuesdays out at Pathfinder Park. So if you have any horses that you want to go out there and work with, the arena is open, and it's open from 8 to 4 on Tuesdays. And a note on Pathfinder Park, unfortunately, over the last few days, we have had some vandalism out there. So there's some on the building of the restroom facility there, and then on the leg of the actual statue out there. So unfortunately, it's hard to control that, but if you see anything that's going on out there that doesn't quite look right, let us know. So hopefully we can, or our crews will get that all cleaned up and deal with that. And then the last thing, John Grayson is finishing up the county website. So he's in our IT department, and he's completely redoing a new website. We're actually planning on launching that next commissioner meeting. And so if you're interested in seeing the launch of the new county website, come in next meeting, and it should be a good one. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else have any statements?
I do have a couple of things I would like to mention, Mr. Chair. A couple of events that are coming up that I would like to make everyone aware of. First of all, tomorrow night, which is Wednesday, Action 22, which is basically a political action group made up of the 22 southeasternmost counties in Colorado, is having a meet and greet at Whitewater up on 8 Mile Hill tomorrow starting at 5:30 p.m. The public is invited. We want to tell everyone what's happening here in Fremont County, how Action 22 is involved, and how they definitely are helping us look and move forward into the future. Hors d'oeuvres will be provided, drinks and dinner will be on your own, but everyone is invited to that. And second, I just wanted to mention, it's a little early, but mark your calendars now. Saturday, June 30th at 10 o'clock in the morning, we will be dedicating more bricks at the War Memorial Park out at the airport, and we would love to have everyone show up for that as well. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have anything? Okay. Let's move on to citizens who wish to address the commissioners on matters not scheduled on the agenda. I see we have one for George Story. Good morning, George.
Good morning, George.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope all is well with all the construction going on in town. There's a lot going on in town. Valley View Medical Center is going on, and we've got, it looks like we've got maybe possibly Pike Canyon Apartments coming online soon. We'll have to see on that. We've got Starbucks is probably coming to town. Now, all this, don't quote me on this exactly because it's still kind of in limbo. But a lot is looking good, and I think they're doing some work down on Highway 50, doing like what is it called? With where they put the gravel and stuff down.
Oh, the chip seal?
Chip seal?
Chip seal.
Okay.
Seal.
All right, you had me lost there for a second.
Chip seal. They're doing chip seal, so everything is looking good. And I think all of us need to really consider how we could possibly help out the water crisis in Cape Town, South Africa. 13 million people are going to run out of water in about a month. I don't know if we could all do a little something, but if we could all do a little something, it might help out. It can't hurt. Anyway, everyone have a good day, and thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you,
Thanks,
George.
George.
Thank you, George.
Anybody else have anything to? Okay. We'll move on. We have no old business on the agenda. We'll go into new business. Item number 1 is a transparency statement. This is from the Fremont County Board of County Commissioners. There's been a lot of what we consider misinformation, particularly on social media, that has affected this issue. And so we've come up with a statement, and it's about 3 pages long. We're each going to read about a page on this thing, and then Sonny Bryant will have copies if anybody wants copies for them. Carrie and Eric, if you want me to email them to you, I will. So I'll do that. And so we'll go into this. The Fremont County Commissioners recognize that there is a lot of confusion and misinformation being circulated among the public concerning Fremont County Clerk and Recorder Katie Barr and her office practice of allowing personal checks to be written for cash. The district attorney has completed the criminal case but has not released factual information regarding the circumstances. The public has a right to know the available facts, and the county commissioners acknowledge their duty and responsibility to inform the public of the information known to us. The statements made today are based on the facts known to the Board of County Commissioners, and any opinions of those are of the Board of County Commissioners. So we broke this down into different sections. We'll start out with what happened. County Clerk Barr allowed a practice in her office permitting employees in the clerk's office to cash personal checks out of the fees, which is public funds, collected in the motor vehicle division of her office. Various other county employees were allowed to cash checks under this practice. Under no circumstance did all county employees and officials engage in this practice, and many were unaware that the practice was allowed. Us included, actually. This is kind of a side note, but the day we found out about it, my first reaction was, they're doing what? Anyway, just a side note. The only known written evidence referring to this practice was the clerk's office cashiering policy, which addressed receipts from personal checks written for cash and applied only to the clerk's office staff. The practice in the clerk's office was a convenience and a benefit for the employees in the office, including the clerk herself. Clerk Barr wrote insufficient funds or bad checks under the check cashing practice. When bad checks were returned, she did not immediately pay the money back. When the bad checks were first discovered in September of 2017, one check for $2,000 was unpaid for almost 11 months, and another for $3,220 was unpaid for almost 4 months. The county bank records indicate that Clerk Barr engaged in check kiting. The cash public funds were removed from the county treasury, circulated to the personal and business accounts of Ms. Barr and her husband to cover personal obligations until private funds became available, at which time the funds were returned to the county bank accounts. By writing checks for cash on a daily basis, she was able to take and use public funds for personal uses, much like an interest-free loan. The available bank records show that no county employee engaged in check kiting activity or delayed repayment of bad checks for months at a time. No money is missing from the county. All has been repaid. So how it happened? The county has numerous bank accounts used for general and specific official county purposes. The motor vehicle division in the clerk's office had a separate bank account for motor vehicle fees and disbursements. The county treasurer had official control of the deposits and expenditures, but the county clerk was allowed to operate the account, including reconciliation of the bank statements each month and collection of insufficient fund checks without the involvement of the treasurer. When the bank returned insufficient fund checks to the treasurer, they were given to the clerk's office. The clerk had formal procedure in place for collection of bad checks written for motor vehicle transactions, but not for the collection of checks for cash. Clerk Barr exercised her discretion regarding collection of checks for cash, including her own, allowing her checks to remain unpaid and uncollected for months at a time. I'll turn it over to Commissioner McFall.
So now we go into how it was discovered. On Tuesday, September 26, 2017, the Fremont County Attorney and the Fremont County Manager received a public records request from KOAA Channel 5 News. KOAA requested copies of checks written for cash in the office of the clerk and recorder, insufficient funds checks, and related information. Through the process of collecting and reviewing the county bank records and public release to KOAA, the county attorney and county manager discovered the existence of the clerk's bad checks, the clerk's office check cashing practice, and the scope and extent of the practice. The county attorney notified the district attorney, and the investigation was assigned to the Canyon City Police Department. So now, what was done to correct the problem and prevent future occurrences? Upon discovery of the check cashing practice, the county attorney demanded the practice stop immediately. Clerk Barr terminated the practice, and cashing checks no longer occurs in the clerk's office. The county manager and the county attorney worked with the county treasurer, the chief deputy clerk Gardino, to implement policies to ensure the treasurer managed all accounts, including the motor vehicle transaction accounts of the clerk's office. The county manager created a new fund in the finance department to account for all revenues and expenses going through the clerk's office. All distributions of these funds collected by the clerk's office are now processed through the finance department, and this account is reconciled on a monthly basis by both the treasurer's office and the finance department. The financial discrepancies were reported to law enforcement for investigation and filing of charges by the district attorney. The county manager is implementing a countywide cash handling policy. However, such policy is not binding to other elected officials without their agreement. The county clerk and recorder is elected by voters of the county in which they serve. Under Colorado law, the clerk and recorder is responsible for issuing and recording marriage license, recording all real estate transactions, issuing liquor license, registering voters, and conducting all primary, general, and county elections. The clerk and recorder's office also operates the motor vehicle division of the state of Colorado for titling vehicles and issuing license plates. Once elected by the voters, the county clerk and recorder takes an oath of office to obey the law. After that, they are solely responsible for the performance and duties of their elected office, including the manner in which the office operates. The county clerk and recorder has deputy clerks and other county employees to assist in performing the elected duties. She determines and sets policies to manage her office staff, and assign duties and responsibilities. She is accountable only to the voters and cannot be fired. If she fails to adequately perform her duty, the voters can recall her from office or replace her when her term of office expires by electing another person. Commissioner Bell.
All right, thank you. We're going to talk next a little bit about the Fremont County Attorney and her role. The role of the County Attorney is different from that of the District Attorney. The County Attorney does not investigate or prosecute crimes. The District Attorney does not advise or represent county government officials. Neither instructs the other on how to perform their professional duties. Upon discovery of the extent of the inappropriate handling of public funds in the clerk's office, the county attorney was legally and ethically obligated to 1. Report the conduct to law enforcement, including the district attorney. 2. Advise the Board of County Commissioners about the clerk's conduct and assist in informing the public to the extent allowable by law. 3. Identify and correct any procedures or practices that are problematic and remedy any present and future harm. And 4, inform and advise Clerk Barr that her actions had created a conflict of interest between the clerk and the rest of the county government, and that she may wish to obtain independent legal representation because the county attorney could not represent or advise Clerk Barr. The county attorney fulfilled the legal and ethical obligations. The district attorney's public statements about the county attorney are based on incomplete information or lack of knowledge about the county attorney's role and duty to the county. Prior to initiating the Canyon City Police Department criminal investigation, the county attorney informed the district attorney that she would not compromise or violate ethical and legal responsibilities owed to the county, and was required to inform and advise Ms. Barr of the conflict of interest and need for independent legal counsel. So now we turn to the Board of County Commissioners. Bear with us, we're almost done. The county commissioners have no legal authority or control over the general management and operation of the office of another elected official. The county commissioners review and set the budgets of the elected officials, providing funding for them to fulfill the independent duties of elected officials. This includes the clerk and recorder, assessor, sheriff, coroner, treasurer, and, in part, the district attorney. Those elected officials exercise sole authority over the performance of their elected duties and operation of their offices within the financial limitations set by the county commissioners. The commissioners have no lawful right to pass a policy and thereby compel a county elected official to manage and operate their office in any certain manner, just as the commissioners could not pass a policy telling the district attorney how to manage her office. Elected officials are accountable to the public, not the county commissioners, for their actions. The district attorney has the authority to hold an elected official accountable for ethical and legal misconduct by bringing and prosecuting appropriate charges against an elected official for criminal and ethical violations. Upon conviction of certain misdemeanor and all felony offenses, an elected official may be removed from office by the court or through other means. To the extent allowable by law, the county officials and employees fully cooperated with this investigation, which was extensive and thorough. The financial records are all encompassing regarding Clerk Barr. The check kiting and bad check activity are undisputed, fully documented in the financial records, and supported by other evidence gathered in the investigation. In the opinion of this Board of County Commissioners, the county clerk was not held accountable for her ethical and legal misconduct arising out of the performance of her official duties. An elected official should not be treated the same way as a non-elected county employee. A county employee can be fired for misconduct. The county clerk can only be fired for misconduct if the district attorney holds her accountable for her actions, or if the voters use the election process to recall or to replace her. This Board of Commissioners still holds the opinion that County Clerk Katie Barr should resign. The decision of the district attorney notwithstanding, public trust in the county clerk has eroded beyond compare, and the clerk's resignation would be a significant and important step toward restoring public trust.
So with that, at the end of our statement here, we have several Colorado revised statutes that we have put into the end of this statement, a lot of legalese, so whoever wants to research that can. For us to go into it would take even that much more time. And so that is our statement of transparency, and that's no really action to go on. To go on with that, we're just putting that out there. So,
All right.
anybody else have anything to add? Okay. We'll move on then. Item number 2. It's a resolution. I believe it's resolution number 20, series of 2018. A resolution prohibiting the sale, use, and possession of fireworks in the unincorporated areas of Fremont County in accordance with Fremont County Ordinance Number 1, series of 2012.
We have the sheriff with us.
Let the sheriff talk about this. Takes the pressure off of me.
Morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, board. Just a couple quick comments about this. I always hate this issue, and especially as we approach our nation's celebration of our independence and how people enjoy this certain activity. If they're aware of the ordinance, this activity is exempted from our restrictions during a certain time period, and which is why we're here this morning, because we have to go further in presenting documentation to you all, which I've done to the county attorney, in order to include the use and sale of the fireworks in our restrictions. I'm also waiting on some more documentation from our state FMO, Joe Lubiondo, who unfortunately is in Los Animas County on a rather large fire, as are many of our firefighting officials across the state, as most people know. And so with just continued deterioration and concerning conditions as it relates to the lack of moisture, our extreme low humidities, I feel like it was the prudent and safe thing to do for our county to come forward and ban, specifically include and ban the use of fireworks. We unfortunately have had at least two. I know Ty Webb had mentioned that there had been no man-made causes of fire, but that's actually not accurate. He's unaware of two of them, both of which we are pursuing as criminal investigations, and so that the board is aware. The fire currently burning in Fremont, obviously 100% contained, was determined to be a lightning strike, but we had one just days ago, Sunday evening on Oak Creek Grade, that we were very lucky. The deputies actually arrived on scene very quickly and were able to, with very crude tools, keep that from spreading very far. When I got the call, I was very concerned, even though it was at night, which fire is not active, but there was wind, and so we were very thankful we were close and able to get on top of that one. That we are pursuing as a criminal matter. We have evidence to believe it was a man-made start. So anyway, all that being said, that I'm asking the board to consider this extra on this resolution to ban the sale, use, and possession of fireworks. And would gladly answer any other questions you might have.
Well, I know this makes your job even more difficult. I know on the evening of the 4th of July, like out in Lincoln Park, it sounds like a war zone. And so you're going to be chasing one call after another out there because people are setting stuff off. And it makes your job that much tougher. It sure does.
Unfortunately, if I was a betting man, I'm thinking there will probably be a lot of violations of this resolution restricting fireworks. I understand it. It's why I started the conversation with I hate it, because people enjoy it so much, and it is a significant celebration in our nation. But once again, I would just ask people to consider what they're seeing in the media about what's going on in our state. And the documentation that was provided by Ty Webb, our BLM officials, which are experts here, I have to lean on them with this information. They are seeing historic concerns at this time of year, and that was worded in the documentation I provided the county attorney. So we cannot ignore that, and so you are correct. We will probably be responding to a lot of those calls. The other thing, and I forgot to mention, I am going to go from stage 1 restrictions into stage 2 restrictions. And you're probably, to the folks that are watching and present, you're not going to get as much consideration for warning on violating these restrictions in this situation of condition and having to go to stage 2. So I would just urge them and plead with them to consider their behavior, to educate themselves on the restrictions, which are readily available. They can call us, they can get them through the website and those things. But I'm going to plead with people to really be careful and to abide by those restrictions. And we will, after this meeting, go into stage 2 restrictions.
And I believe we're not the only ones. As we speak, I believe Chaffee County is doing the same thing right now. Their Board of Commissioners meetings at 9 o'clock in the morning. And so we're not the only ones that's considering this. So, okay, thank you for your...
Thank you.
I would like to add to the conversation, Sheriff, just thank you to your deputies for being there and being available and willing to get down and dirty, because I can't imagine what those crew tools might have looked like. But I can imagine what would have happened if they would not have been there. So kudos to your crews. Just let them know how much we appreciate them, please.
I will pass that along. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sheriff.
So I'll just read the tail end of this for this resolution. Be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners for Fremont County, based upon the findings and competent evidence set forth and pursuant to ordinance number 2012-1, the sale, use, and possession of all fireworks, including those deemed permissible under 12-28-103 CRS in the unincorporated areas of Fremont County are hereby prohibited and banned. The Board of County Commissioners and the Sheriff of Fremont County strongly encourage residents of Fremont County and visitors to Fremont County to comply with all terms and conditions of the fire restrictions, and to exercise great caution with fires and sources that contribute to the fire danger to keep Fremont County safe from wildfires. This resolution shall become effective at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, June 12, 2018. By golly, I think we're going to make it.
We could not have timed that any better had we tried.
It's pretty close.
Okay. So, with that, we need a motion? We do, don't we?
We do.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I will move to adopt resolution number 20, series 2018, the resolution prohibiting the sale and use and possession of fireworks, not firearms, fireworks in the unincorporated areas of Fremont County in accordance with county ordinance number 1, series of 2012, and that is fireworks in the unincorporated Fremont County.
You had a couple of guys almost get jumping up.
Me? I almost jumped up.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
I would just hope, Mr. Chair, that fire districts within the county also go along with this real soon, because there's a problem within those fire districts as well as in the unincorporated part.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Move on to item number 3.
It's 10 o'clock. We have a public hearing scheduled at 10 a.m., Mr.
By
Chair.
golly, we do, don't we?
Yes, indeed, we do.
Thank you for that. Hour has reached 10 o'clock. We do have a public hearing scheduled for a special event liquor permit to be held at Pathfinder Park Early Connections Learning Center. Do we have a Liz Denson? Hi, good morning.
Good
Morning.
morning.
You're up. Okay, well, give us a rundown of what you're doing here.
Sure. So we are bringing a National Senior Pro Rodeo to Pathfinder Park June 30th and July 1st. Contestants will be coming from all over the country and Canada. We even have some Australians who are going to be coming. We anticipate crowds of around probably 300 to 500. While this isn't our first rodeo, it is our first rodeo to put on here. So we really don't know exactly what to expect in terms of crowds. We've gotten a lot of support from the community in terms of sponsorships, so we're really excited to see that. What we're proposing is to have a beer garden just to the west of the stand area. It would be 24 by 24, and it would be separated by panels, livestock panels. So that's what would separate the beer garden area from the rest of the rodeo and the rest of the event.
That's where it would be sold and consumed, correct?
Correct.
And now, do you have folks that have been trained for this?
We do. We're working with several different servers who've gone through, I believe it's called the server training or server trained, who we'll be working with to actually do the serving. We'll be managing it by people with wristbands, so they'll be checking IDs. People will have to have wristbands in order to purchase alcohol and consume it, of course, and it will be restrained to that 24 by 24 area.
Okay. Any other questions at this time? Okay. Staff report?
Yep, all their paperwork's in order. They did post the property. I know they had a little bit of issues with the poster kept falling down, but they did have it posted. We do have proof that they've posted, so everything
Okay.
looks good on our end.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? No? Straightforward? Okay.
I did notice one thing, sorry, that there was a note on here about, on the application, if there was going to be food vendors. I think that was for the health inspector.
We will have food vendors. We're working with Steel Smoking Barbecue from Florence. They'll be our food vendor there to provide
Okay.
food.
So is the health inspector aware of that?
Licensed.
Their license, oh, that's right, their license, yeah, yep,
Yeah. And I
okay.
did return, I
Right.
believe her name was Amy's phone
Right.
call, but we haven't been able to connect just
Okay,
yet.
Okay,
that's right.
all right.
And there is a map, Mr. Chair, of where the beer garden would be, if approved today.
And while my note on there says roped off, we have decided since then to actually use the big sturdy panels.
All right.
Okay.
Entertain a motion.
This is a public hearing, Mr. Chair.
Oh, you're right, sorry. See, like I miss a week and I'm good. So I'll open this public hearing up for anybody that wants to speak on this issue. Going once, going twice. Nobody's running up to the podium. Awesome. So I will now close the public hearing.
It's okay, now we're legal.
Now we're all legal and tender. Okay, good. Okay, now perhaps I'll entertain a motion.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. I move to approve the special event liquor permit for Pathfinder Park for the event that is going to be the rodeo held on, June
June 30th and July 1st.
30th and July 1st.
Okay,
I second that.
okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and I just wanted to add, we are looking to make this an annual event, so you might see me here again in a year.
That's
All right.
awesome,
That'd
good
be
luck,
great.
good
Good
luck.
luck. We wish you well.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, as we keep plundering along here. Item number 3, consideration of a proclamation for Elder Abuse Awareness Day in Fremont County, June 15th, 2018. Do we have Kelly Broomfield? Good morning.
Good
morning.
morning.
I want to thank the commissioners for giving me the opportunity to give the proclamation for World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. I'm sure you're mixed up. We'll be giving out cards, pamphlets, pens, magnets, with some reporting information, and the phone number for Fremont County DHS Adult Protection. If you suspect abuse or neglect of an at-risk adult, please call APS or law enforcement. Okay, so World Elder Abuse Awareness Day is June 15th, 2018. A proclamation. Whereas Fremont includes a community of older Americans who have worked their entire lives to create the vibrant, thriving communities we live in, and they deserve our care and respect. Whereas Fremont County recognizes that as members of our community, we have the responsibility to ensure seniors are protected from abuse, neglect, and exploitation. And whereas Fremont County is committed to raising awareness of the abuse and neglect of our seniors and encourage citizens to report the abuse of and or neglect of our elderly. And whereas our community can provide opportunities to educate the community by understanding that elder abuse can happen to anyone, a loved one, a neighbor, and when we are old enough, it can even happen to us. Elder abuse affects seniors across all social, economic groups, cultures, and races. Elder abuse can occur anywhere, in a person's own home, in nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and other institutional settings, and in hospitals. Now, therefore, we, the Fremont County Commissioners, by virtue of the authority vested in this board, do hereby proclaim June 15th of 2018 World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, and in doing so, urge all citizens to join in a worldwide effort to share in the vision of one person, one action, one nation, united against elder abuse.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody have any questions or comments?
I don't mean to put you on the spot, Kelly, but I do have a question.
Sure.
If you can answer, do you know about how many cases annually we have here in Fremont County of elder abuse?
Well, I've been working for the county for over 2.5 years, and I've already had 251 cases.
Wow.
Yeah, and we do have ongoing guardianship with several people. And I know my coworker Dan Nix has probably serviced about that many people also. But the biggest thing is, if you suspect, even just suspect abuse, please call us or law enforcement, just so we can serve those people who have served us. You know, there's a lot of really neat people I've got to meet and experience and help. You know, and that's what we're about, is helping our elders and at-risk adults.
Well, I know that it does happen, but the thought of any kind of abuse happening to my own sweet little 82-year-old frail mom just breaks my heart.
Yes,
So I would add my voice to that. If you see something, say something.
exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So with that, Mr. Chair, I will go ahead and move to approve this proclamation for Elder Abuse Awareness Day in Fremont County, June 15th, which is this Friday. Thank you.
Thank you.
I second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, move on to item number 4, 3.2 beer license renewal. This is a deadline waiver and late fee waiver. Quick Star Incorporated, doing business as Quick Stop number 6.
There's nobody here.
Pardon? Okay.
There's no
So
representative.
you're going to talk about this?
Yeah, so
Okay.
this is similar to like the one that we had a few weeks ago. This one is between the last, as far as we're concerned at the county, liquor license between the sale of all the Quick Stops to Peaster Marketing. And this one, they actually didn't sell, they're leasing it. And there's been a lot of back and forth with the lease, which we actually just got in for approval. We're working on transferring the license to Peaster Marketing. But in the meantime, they have to have an active liquor license to do so. And they don't currently have liquor out at that location because we can't issue a temporary to Peaster, who's actually in control of the store, because we don't have a lease. So they have to have legal possession of the building. So there is actually no alcohol out there, but we need to keep Quick Stop number 6 license active, or we can't just do a transfer. They would have to do a whole new license. So
Okay.
this is, and they were, we're working between several different people here, and they were notified several times of the renewal, but they still managed to get it in late. So this is to
So there were
exempt
some
them from
timing
late fee.
issues here? Okay.
Yeah, so they didn't get it to us in the 45-day requirement.
So it would be my assumption that if we approve this today, next year's renewal, when it comes up, will be handled by Peaster and Peaster only.
Correct.
So we
As long
should
as the
not have
transfer
this
goes.
problem again.
Yes, and this is just to waive them being late and the late fee. We've got everything else to do their renewal now, so. But yes, if all goes well with the transfer of the license, it'll be with Peaster.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So I'm just curious on your note that you tried to get a hold of them several times and they never answered your emails.
Yeah.
So it was totally their mistake for being late.
I finally just got with Peaster because it was just easier, because they're, the previous owners aren't really doing a whole lot more with it, so getting a hold of them was a little bit difficult. But in any case, they finally all met up and got everything signed, so just a little late.
Well, there's a lot of stores involved with this whole transaction. wasn't
There is a lot. We
It
only
was
have to deal with 3,
pretty
but
complex.
those
Yeah.
are just the ones that are in the county. It doesn't
Very
include the-
complicated.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Okay.
So this is just to waive the late fees
And then being late, yeah, the
and
deadline.
approve the renewal.
Right.
Okay. All right. Motion?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I will make a motion to waive the late fees and renew the liquor license for Quick Stop number 6. Quick Star, doing business as Quick Stop number 6 for 3.2 beer.
And does that motion also include a waiver of the deadline?
Yes,
Okay, I'll second.
it
Okay.
does.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you for that explanation, Dottie.
Sure.
Appreciate that. Move on to item number 5, approval of a intergovernmental agreement with the town of Brookside for the application of chip seal to Willow Street. Sunny, do you have
Yes,
on this?
so our Department of Transportation was approached by the town of Brookside, and they asked us if we would be willing to include them as part of our chip seal project. So they're actually going to pay our crew. They're going to pay for the materials, but they don't have the resources to do it themselves. And when they look at an outside contractor, the cost would have been too substantial. So our crew has agreed that they would be able to squeeze it in their schedule. And so if the board is okay with this IGA, then they'll move forward with actually doing this project.
Okay. Sounds like a good deal for Brookside, and, okay.
Well, I think it's important to note that the county road crew they're not putting something else aside to do this. They're making time for this so that everything flows good, so we're not neglecting any of our county roads as well while this is happening.
And everything will be completed.
Will.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's right.
So, loving a good attitude of cooperation, Mr. Chair, I move to approve this intergovernmental agreement with the town of Brookside for the application of chip and seal to Willow Street.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on this? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, item number 6, approval of a memorandum of understanding with the State of Colorado Department of Human Services from July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2020 for the Colorado Works Program and Colorado Child Care Assistance Program. Brenda, I believe you have some words on this?
Yeah, the Department of Human Services regularly contracts with the state of Colorado to run the various benefits and assistance programs at the department. And so this is the new agreement on the Child Care Assistance Program and Colorado Works, both of which are public assistance programs, and then Child Care Assistance is a supplemental program at the department. And so this is just the standard contract with the state. There's quite a few changes in the programs that are going to be coming under these new agreements. But we enter into them, and that kicks in the reimbursement from the state for the costs of managing the program.
Okay.
As we all know, the state legislation constantly changes on everything. So.
Really?
Did you not know that?
I didn't know that.
Mr. Chair, I would move to approve the memorandum of understanding with the State of Colorado and Department of Human Services from July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2021 for the Colorado Works Program and the Colorado Child Care Assistance Program.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
Well, I just really like the part where we talk about reimbursement of
Yeah.
That's always good, isn't it?
fees, and
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
At least it's not
It's
an
important.
unfunded mandate. At least they
Yeah,
do
exactly.
reimburse.
That's always a good thing. Roll call, please.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Move on to our last item here, approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the Upper Arkansas Area Council of Governments and participating counties regarding regional housing study. Sunny, I believe you have a comment on this?
Yes, so we were approached about, a year and a half ago by the Council of Governments, and Autumn Deaver is driving this project, and they were awarded a grant up to $30,000, and they also have $3,780 to facilitate a regional housing study. So they're working with Fremont County, Custer County, and Park County, and looking at all three counties. They're going in the municipalities in each area to do the full needs assessment. So what level of housing do we need? Where do we need that level of housing? It's not just affordable housing, it's all different levels. And then this consultant will come back with recommendations on where those needs actually are in each of those counties and in each of the municipalities in the counties. So this agreement is with the Council of Governments in Fremont County. Our cost would be not to exceed $13,356, but in that first meeting that we participated in, both the City of Canyon City and the City of Florence had said that they would be interested in helping absorb those costs. So we're still working with proposals to send to both of those municipalities to request that they pay for a portion of the total cost of the $13,356. So the agreement right now is with us and COG.
Okay.
I think you said a couple of important things there that I want to just kind of highlight again, is that it's not just affordable housing, which we know we all have a problem with, in all 3 counties that this will be, but that it's all levels of housing. So hopefully that'll encompass anybody's budget, I guess, so to speak. And then I hope that both of the cities, Florence and Canyon City, do get on board with this, because they're in the same shape that the rest of the county is too. So I think it's a pretty vital study. I think we know what the results are going to be, but at least it'll be a little more detailed as to what we need to do to rectify some of this.
And one additional note that I would make, the reason that Fremont County is so interested in doing this is when developers and builders look at coming into an area and actually starting housing projects, this will be the information they are going to look for. If they don't know what the specific needs are in Fremont County or in Canyon City or in Florence, they're not going to be interested in coming here. So we need to be able to be very specific and to tell them, we have the study done by an outside independent agency, and this is what that study shows.
Okay.
With that, Mr. Chair, I move for approval of the intergovernmental agreement between the Upper Arkansas Area Council of Governments and participating counties regarding the regional housing study.
I will second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. With no further business coming before the board, we are adjourned. You're stomping weird. Stomping. Well, I can muddle through that. Holy crap.
Who's that? Oh.
Quick question for you. Did Journey Home open yesterday?
You know, I think so. I haven't had the confirmation. Did Journey Home open yesterday? I know that was.
Yeah, I think you did. They were talking about helping people move in yesterday.
Okay. And I hope that thing's running